Yeah, so about this whole about the riots, how do you feel about them?
All right, me myself, when I think about the riots, I have an understanding of why it's happening. Not because I'm black, but because I get it. I get it how when you're not heard, when you're not understood, and when you try to make yourself understood time and time again in a peaceful way, and then they still don't want to hear you, what do you think is going to happen?
Right, right. I mean, it's almost like how do I put it? Let me give like an example. I mean,
It's like it's like when you're bullied or when you see someone being bullied.
yeah.
You see them being being just
I mean, I guess disrespected.
disrespected time and time again. And then when they try to bring it to attention the correct way and no
Like,
one
you
listens.
know, teachers say, I guess, report to a teacher or the principal, or walk away,
Yeah,
and
and
that'll like, I guess you're being the bigger person, and I guess it solves the problem, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't.
it doesn't. And then when you finally do something, you're deemed the problem. Your your actions to stop that bully's actions has been looked at as worse than what was happening to you.
And it's almost like we're taught not to fight back at like during school
Yeah,
or during those ages of you're in school, then they say don't, if you're being bullied or something like that, don't engage or
even exactly, even the correct way. Even when you try to do it the correct way, like you said, going to a teacher or something.
and it's like, what was that? It wasn't a saying. It was like I guess it was an example someone gave. They said you don't do an experiment the same way and expect different results.
Exactly.
Same, I guess the same thing goes with this. You don't put up with something, or you don't deal with the situation the same way and expect different results.
And and we've tried to do it every way possible. We had Kaepernick when he first knelt down. Oh, you can't protest that way. That's not allowed. Or when we take to the streets, when we hold our signs up peacefully. Oh, you can't protest that way.
I mean, even the boycotts back in the olden days,
Yeah, exactly. The boycotts.
and
No,
even when we just literally kept to ourselves, the whole, what was it? The How can I say, the whole Tulsa, Oklahoma thing?
yeah. Even when we built and created opportunities for ourselves. Oh no, we can't do that. And yeah, it's funny you bring that up because people were talking about the looting, the rioting. This is this looting and rioting that's happening now is happening for a reason. When those white people went into Tulsa, they went with the intention of destruction. They looted and pillaged for the sake of racism. Like
I mean, pure hate. I mean,
pure hate.
I mean, just juxtaposing the two, you could obviously see the difference of motive. I mean,
Like I'm not gonna say that tearing down infrastructure and people's businesses and like looting. I mean, of course that's horrible, that's bad. You don't want to see anything like that. But then again,
right.
what do you expect to happen when people are not being heard? And in reality there's no correct way to protest.
It's when you think about it, it's like the whole, I mean, law of action reaction, or what is Newton's, one of Newton's laws. I mean, you put something in, and it's like planting a seed, orange seed, and expecting an apple. No, you're gonna get the exact thing you put in. So if you're gonna put in hatred, or not necessarily hate, but destruction and all of that, then you're gonna get something chaotic from it.
Exactly.
People are gonna react a certain type of way. I mean, you're constantly showing many people, black people specifically, that you don't care for them. You don't, and it's not like we need you to care for us, because we can do that ourselves. But that level of respect,
we need you
and dignity
to just be moral. Like,
exactly.
Why? And the thing is, this country was built on immoral foundation. Slavery. We built this for them, for free, like. and then you're saying, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you tearing down what we have? Why are you destroying? I mean, you have put out so much hate, so much injustice. And every time, like I said, every time we try to be civil about it, black people are the most understanding people. We have tried so many times to give you people the benefit of the doubt. And it's not just black people. It's even other people who have felt the sting of injustice and oppression that America has dished out. They have tried to give you people the benefit of the doubt. We have tried to be the bigger person, turn the other cheek,
or just
protest peacefully.
Don't even. We used to want to be, accepted, or I guess I'm speaking for me, and I guess a handful of other people, black people. We used to want to be accepted, but now, I mean, it's not even that anymore. We just want to be left alone.
Exactly.
Without having to deal with, I guess, or live in a country peacefully.
Exactly. And it's crazy, like, and it's not just what happened to George Floyd. I mean, that blew air, oxygen on the ember and caused it to go ablaze. But it wasn't just him. It's gentlemen like Ahmaud Arbery. It's other countless black men, children, and women who have been affected by this through the centuries.
It's more than just, I guess, this one event. I mean, think of any toxic relationship you're in, and I guess you get to that last straw and you just can't take it anymore. It's not just that one event. You think back on everything that has happened to you by that person, and then that's your reaction. It's like a buildup of things you've been keeping in, and then that last straw, they cross the Rubicon of BS, and it's a wrap. It's over.
It's crazy how other people are just like, oh, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening. How can you not believe this is happening when you've witnessed it over and over again? And even if you haven't, but like those white people that say, oh, racism, that's a thing. Oh no, that's nonsense. That's ludicrous. That doesn't happen. Just because it hasn't happened to you or you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. There are lots of things in this world that happens, that goes on, that you don't even know about.
And if you can be that naive to believe that things don't happen under your nose, then I mean, and it's not like it's happening under your nose.
I know it's there. It's there. It's like
you're just like
out in the open.
And to me, that's like the veil we, I guess, subconsciously put over our own eyes. I mean, yeah, there's other people doing it to us, or not showing us the information that we need to see, but in a way we're doing it to ourselves. We're ignoring.
But yeah, by being ignorant, exactly.
By ignoring, I guess, the truth, which shouldn't even be like. It really shouldn't be hard to comprehend. I mean, it's not that opaque of an understanding to see the evil that is happening constantly, day to day.
And it's crazy because we're in America. We have just, like you said, ignored. Even black people have just ignored what has been happening to us. Like we protest, but then what happens? Months pass by, and we're just like, oh,
and we're over it.
We're over it. It's time to stop getting over it. It's time to check racism and injustice, address it, expose it, and decapitate it. Decapitate the head of it, which is the American system itself. The prison systems, the school systems.
And not just that. I mean, you go for the head, but you wanna tear it from its foundation.
Bro,
because that's what it stands on.
Exactly. I could not have said it better myself. The foundation of it. Rip it from its roots.
You don't build any system from the top down. You build it from the bottom up. And that's what you want to take down first. And with that, you're going to have to change your mindset. I mean, you could post all you want on Instagram or Snapchat, whatever the youngins use, or anything. But I mean, I'm 17, but it can only go so far just posting. I mean, you have to literally change your whole way of living. If you right now, if you're in your home and you're just posting or thinking about what outfit you're gonna post next, not even putting any thought into what's going on, or maybe you are putting thought into it, but you just say, oh, it's not affecting me, or I don't have to do anything right now, it's not in my town or city, wherever you live. That, to me, that's selfish. To me, that's pathetic and ignorant. I mean, we all live on the same planet. We're a product of this reality. So either you're gonna do something about it or continue to sit dormant. I mean,
and that's the thing. We can't continue to sit dormant. Everybody must act, and it's not just black people. Just because it's happening to us, it's every person of color. It's white people, and white people. I want to tell you right now. Use your privilege for more than what you've been using it for. Because even though this is happening to us and we need to act too, also we need you to change. We're trying to change the system. We're trying to change what happens. We're trying to change the injustice and the racism. We're trying to eradicate all of that, but you need to act too.
Systems don't change until people change.
Exactly. And it's crazy because the only way to truly change someone's mind is to affect their emotions.
Exactly, right.
And this rioting and looting and protesting, propaganda and all publicity works. And it's crazy how, talking about publicity, the news is showing all the rioting and looting, but there are also peaceful protests out there.
Right.
Like one happened a couple of days in our own town, Sherman.
Right.
Sherman, Texas.
Yeah, I watched the video. They were going around, I guess is it the town hall or city?
I think it was the courthouse.
It was the courthouse. Yeah.
And
basically they went around the whole city, right? And then once they got around to the courthouse, I guess they laid down on their bellies for like 10 minutes in honor of Floyd, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they were chanting, "Say his name, George Floyd," and then they were saying, "Don't hands up, don't shoot." And to me, that was powerful, those words. But like we were saying earlier, I mean, we've been doing these peaceful protests for years, countless years. Countless people have, I guess, brung up these peaceful protests, but people don't listen.
They don't, and then they get surprised when looting and rioting happens.
They get surprised when you change your methodology. I mean,
like don't act brand new to this. Even if and I'm pretty sure people from other generations, they're still alive.
Right.
They people who are 60 years old, 70 years old, or even in their early or mid 50s, like, you know, like, we shouldn't still be centuries of this. We have allowed centuries of this to go by.
All of us.
All of us, not just black people, white people, everybody, even everybody in the world. Everybody in the world know or have the knowledge or the idea or like they see the things that are going on in America right now.
It's like you're in your room and I guess you see something like a piece of trash on your carpet. You keep looking at it, but you don't pick it up. You don't take action. You just leave it there.
And then another piece of trash.
Or no.
Shows up.
Better yet, you leave some food on your floor. And you're just sitting it there, and once it starts to mold, you go like, ugh, what is that? Why is that happening? Acting surprised as if you didn't expect it to start to mold.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you left it there.
That's
for
perfect.
So many weeks.
That is perfect.
I mean, that's literally exactly what's going on here.
We have let racism rot like a dead carcass in America for so long.
And then once we witness the stench of it, the putrid smell,
we're just like, ugh, what the fuck? What is that?
Exactly.
How did we
get here?
Who sent you?
Right. This is
and
wild, man. I'm looking at there's over I guess 15 cities right now where the riots are happening. I mean, you got Atlanta, Bakersfield, Boston, Chicago, all of these places. And
these are major cities.
These are major cities, man. You got Fort Worth, Dallas, Denver, Detroit, all of these places. People they've had enough, man.
And I want to commend the people who are standing up and making their voices heard. Because we need you.
I mean somebody's going to have to, take charge.
It can't just be us alone. It can't just be black people alone.
Right.
We must all, come together.
And it sounds like such a cliche thing to say.
Exactly, but it's the truth.
I mean, it's simple logic. It's like, if you're not all working together, you can only do so much.
And it's crazy where those people who say I'm not racist, but you're allowing racist injustices to go on around you.
Exactly. So what makes you think you're any better than that?
I
can say that, look, I can say that I hate bullies and that I don't want to see them destroy, or mess with people. And when I finally see one in action, I do nothing.
Exactly. And that's what we have been doing.
I'm just as bad as that guy.
Exactly. You're just as bad as what's going on.
I'm not going to sit here and say and lie to you and say that I haven't done that in my life, that haven't seen people being terrorized and not do anything about it, because that's a human thing. You don't want confrontation with something that's not your problem. It's a hard thing to do. Of course, you're not going to fight for something that seemingly doesn't affect you.
But you got to stand up, because what if that was you?
Exactly. You got to put yourself in those people's shoes.
Okay, think about it. There was this one activist, a white woman. I think her name is Jane Elliott, I think her name is. And she was in a room, an auditorium to be exact, full of white people, and she asked a question. Would you want to be treated as African Americans are treated, or any black person, or any person of color are treated in America? Stand up. And no one stood up.
Right.
And then she went on to say, well, that goes to show you what's going on. So why in the hell would you allow it to happen to somebody else? Like, exactly. You know what's going on. You know you will not want to be treated as black people are treated in America.
And that's have I never heard of that? But just thinking about that puts things into perspective. People don't care unless it's for the convenience or it benefits them in a way. They won't put any effort. And
I'm glad you brought that up. Like, everybody wants to, like Rihanna said, break bread with black people, or partake in their culture, use their lingo, be their friend
Right.
only when it's convenient. No, don't be MIA. Everybody wants to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga when it's time to be a nigga.
Earth Gang.
JID,
that
man.
song is one of my favorite because it really it speaks to me, man. I want people to listen to it. What is it? It's Earth Gang. What's
It's
the name?
called hold on, it slipped my
Hey,
mind.
I don't know if you guys hear that train in the background, but if you do, I'm sorry. I really don't want to pause the video or the recording right now. But if you
Exactly.
do, I guess you can skip through or keep listening. I'd rather you keep listening, but go ahead. Wow.
But yeah, I forget the name of the song. I don't know. It's called Meditate.
Meditate, yeah.
Exactly. You people who want to befriend us and want to, kind of
correlate yourself with the squad, if you will.
We need you to pull up. Like, don't be MIA.
When we really
when you really, that goes to show you who really messes with you and who doesn't.
Right. I mean,
just like we said about quarantine
thing. I mean, no one pulls up when you really need them.
Exactly. When you they don't even hit you up. Then I'm like, oh man, we've been in the house. I should hit him up.
Or
I should hit her up.
I mean, people just don't care, man.
They don't.
It's like we're living in a world where everyone networks, regardless of what it is, business, relationships, any.
Let me just befriend you or like get to know you just to get something from you.
Even in your own family, man, it doesn't just stop.
Yeah.
With race.
Check, like, if you see anybody or hear anybody in your family say or do anything blatantly racist or just like outright
racist,
questionable,
man,
or immoral, you need to check that shit. Like,
you can't be afraid to do that. I mean, if they can't respect your views, and even if they use that, oh, you can't respect that I believe in this or that. I mean, you could say that all day, but I mean, I just feel like it's not right, man.
It's not right at all, because
and most people will agree. I mean, I don't see what's hard about that. I mean, hating someone because of their culture or the color of their skin. I mean, think about that. I mean, you shouldn't even have to think about it to feel that it's not right.
And it's crazy. And you might not, white people or any other people who haven't experienced what black people are experiencing with the injustice and racism, you might not understand. You might not ever understand, but we need you to stand with us.
Right.
We need you to be like, oh, I see this, and this is not this. I would not want this to be happening to me, my children, or anyone in my family, or because you can't thrive like that. You really can't. And as you can see, black people are not thriving.
Right.
They are not. Black people, it's encoded in our DNA. Studies have shown that trauma can be passed down through DNA.
All right.
Black people feel the effects of our own ancestors.
Even if you haven't like literally directly experienced the event, say getting whipped on the back or just treated illy, you can feel that. You understand.
And black people we're one of the most empathetic people. Like when China, those people in China, they were, feeling the lash of other countries, about the coronavirus.
Right.
And then we felt for you. Like, we're like, oh man, we know how.
I mean, I can say for myself,
ostracized and like,
disgusting.
Disgusting.
They did this or that. I mean,
you Chinese people, we don't want to mess with you.
I mean, see that what you just said, this race or this or that, we don't want to mess, like that right there. That's the mentality that a lot of people are in. Like,
exactly.
They just feel like other races are just untouchable, or we can't correlate ourselves with that.
But then again, you just sit there and you watch it happen.
Like, that type of mindset. To me, that's disgusting.
That's horrible. And it's crazy how when the white people first came to these lands, or anyone of European descent came to these lands, when the Aborigines were here, or the people, or the natives were here, they were just spreading the disease, just
And see,
and then they're just like, ugh.
that's the thing. Like, no one wants to bring up that topic. How, like, I mean, think about that.
No one wants to bring up
You have no room to talk.
Like,
literally.
no room to talk when you have been just
And no petty stuff, man. Like, just think about that.
like
All the people,
all the heinous actions that you have done, and then you don't want to show up and understand where we're coming from when we riot and when we loot. Even all right, I've seen people understand, people who have businesses who have been looted and been broken into.
Right, like the 3 women that I show you that they're I guess it was like a restaurant business.
They were devastated,
but they said they understood.
They understand why. I've seen other people who have businesses and they say, "Oh, am I heartbroken but I can rebuild." You cannot give George Floyd or any other person whose life has been taken their life back.
And you can't.
You can't. It's over.
And if you can, where were you this whole time? Where were you on the scene?
Where were you when us as black people, our brothers and sisters could have had that redo? Like, come on, man. Like,
you don't get a second chance at life.
You don't. You do not. When your life is gone,
when you
it's
are
gone.
living, you can make an influence. Influence is everything, man. I truly believe that.
Like, we're all a product of our environment, and we have the power to change our environment.
Planting seeds, man.
Even though we're a product of our environment, we can, mold and shape our environment. Meaning, we can mold and shape ourselves. We can recreate what American society is.
Right.
And it needs to not be racist. It needs to not be prejudiced. It needs to not have so much injustice.
Right.
We need to, like you said, we need to just break up the foundation, rip it from its roots, and rebuild.
Right. And I think I was watching a video. This woman was saying, but she was in like Europe, right? And she said it's not just in America, like the prejudice acts and all of that, the racism.
Exactly.
I mean, it's everywhere.
And when you look at every society or every culture, every other continent, who suffers the most? The people of color.
Right.
The people with the darker hue suffers the most.
And I don't want to. You know what I hate to hear is like when people say, "Oh, the statistics, the graphs show this or that," or like,
yeah, like,
do you know the world is forever changing? There are so many people on the planet, and to say that, oh, that's not true. I mean, you don't live these people's lives, so you literally don't know.
Exactly. And I'm tired of everybody trying to say how black people should show their emotions and how black people should feel. You cannot you cannot slap somebody in the face over and over again and then tell them how they should feel and tell them how they need to react.
Don't scream, man.
Like when you smack somebody and they say, "Stop! Why are you hurting me? Why are you striking me? Like, stop!"
Right.
And then you just turn around and say, "Shut up! You need to be quiet. You need to just let this happen." What? No.
That's such a funny like way of putting it, but like,
and
it makes so much sense though.
And I love this generation. No disrespect to our ancestors,
but what?
But we are not our ancestors. You will get fucked up. Like, don't play.
Yeah, I've seen like it's been such a short time, like 1 week since I guess his death. I think it's been what, like 6 days, close to it's coming up on a week. I think so. I think it's been a week. Actually. It has been a week. Time flies, but I've seen so many videos and so many posts of, I guess, like people not putting up with it. Like there was this guy, and I guess he was like the opposition, if you will, to I guess the riots and the protests, and he was just saying, "Oh, you guys are crazy," or N-word this, N-word that, and then the other people just ran up on him, bro, and just smashed. Yeah, don't be surprised when you see videos like of
of people of the opposition getting smashed.
Dude,
like
people are angry, bro, and you go out there and say those type
and try
of
to
things.
be the opposition to an outcry.
Look.
Come on.
By all means, have your own opinions and views. But in a time like this, there's just no question or to what's right and what's wrong anymore. We know what's the right thing to do.
Yeah, you can't be a bully and just be spewing out hate and oppressing and be surprised when you get your shit rocked.
When you get I kid you not, I don't even want to say this, man. We're just watching it. He got effed up, bro.
Like don't be surprised.
It was one of those videos where you gotta click because it's sensitive content like that.
And we're saying this, but we're not like we're not one of those people who like, you know, condone violence. Like, yeah, like raise hell, like, you know, burn this shit down to the ground. No, we're just saying don't be surprised when it happens, when you have just sat there and let it happen and not listen. Don't be surprised. Don't stop being surprised at the looting and rioting.
Right.
People are talking about the looting and rioting like it's just like some new thing.
There's nothing new under the sun. On this planet, nothing is new here.
And like I said, there is no correct way to protest, especially not in America. Every time we try to protest, oh, you can't do that. That is not allowed. And then when we turn around and do the opposite, you're like, oh my God, why are you so angry? And I hate that. Yeah, I hate that when people who are or spewing out hate and trying to oppress, and they just say, oh, why are you being angry? Why are you so angry, black man? Why are you so angry, black woman?
Like, what do you mean, man?
Mofo, why are you just out here spewing hate? Like, who sent you, man? Like, and then you're just like, why are you so angry? Oh my God, I am so appalled. What is this?
Like that right there is just
like our white friends or white people that we know. Don't be surprised when we're upset when you say the wrong shit and we pop off.
Right.
That's us checking you.
And that's
so you don't do that shit again.
Like, all right, most of the people listening to this do live in Sherman.
Exactly.
And they know, I guess, like colored people or us, they know about like how the kids act at school. White kids, to be exact. Especially when you're in class, like you're like the only black person in class, and the rest of them are just white. Or you got like that one Mexican guy.
Exactly.
You could feel the energy just being in there.
And then people say, "Why you always gotta make it about race, dude? You're a fool if you don't think that it's not."
I mean, everything think that it's not in America is about race.
It's about race.
Everything. I mean, that's like a given. And
it's crazy. Why do people? And I say, dude, why are you pulling the race card, the slavery card? Dude, slavery was not that long ago. I don't know. And segregation was not that long ago.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people don't realize that things that have happened in the past in America, it's not like they just magically vanished. And that's why I hate when people say, oh, things have changed. No, they have changed.
It changed its face.
It's changed its face. It's morphed. It's not that it's disappeared, that it's not there. Racism never left.
Exactly.
It was always there. It never left. It
morphed
evolved.
into something else. It evolved. Oh, the KKK. Oh, they wearing badges now. I don't know if you noticed, but they're wearing badges now.
They got guns strapped to their waist.
They in the military now.
And, these are the ones that we employ that are supposed to protect us from bad people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They don't even know their agendas. They're just hiring people.
Right.
Or you know what? I'm not going to even say that. I'm pretty sure they know who these people are, what these people are about.
They know.
They know.
And I know that they know.
And it's crazy. Like, oh, why are you pulling that card? We're going to keep pulling that card like it's Uno in this bitch. Like, draw 4 fuck yous, motherfucker. Like, what?
Right?
What?
For real though, like, come on, man. I mean, you can't
Oh man,
you
this
can't
is
stop fighting for something that you believe, something, especially something that's right.
exactly.
You can't just give up, man.
And that's the thing. I do not want to see y'all going back to y'all everyday
And look-
posts. You need to keep talking and posting about this until it's just gone.
Until you freaking die, bro.
And exactly until you if this whole shit is not changed,
At least you can
keep-
say. At least you can
keep-
say you
keep
put
doing
in
it.
effort, bro.
at least you can say you did not just sit down and lay down.
And not even that. At least you can say that. At least you can call yourself a good person, man. If anything, because like I said, if you just choose to do nothing, what makes you think you're any different
Exactly.
from
And if you're
anyone
neutral,
else?
like all these posts, if you're neutral, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Like, yeah, there's no ifs, ands, buts
it's-
about it.
I
Like
feel
you,
like I don't
you are the
look. I can't really say
problem.
like because I'm only 17. I don't. Most people I follow are relatively my age, or I do follow some older people, but I don't know for sure if it's harder for young people to, I guess, put in effort or older people. But from what I'm seeing online, a lot of us younger people, we're not like, I mean, there are some of us that are, trying to
Yeah.
get the word out, but
and that's what I like about this
but
generation.
look, there are a lot of us that are doing nothing. I mean, I'm scrolling through stories,
Exactly.
see people. I mean, not telling you not to enjoy life, but still, I mean,
I don't want to see the food that you're eating today when
I mean,
all this stuff
why
is
does that
going
matter?
on.
Well,
That
I hate
does
to,
not,
I hate to break to you, but that it doesn't matter right
that
now.
doesn't help. That doesn't help
And
the
I don't
cause.
see how anyone would care either.
That salad or that chicken sandwich, that
I can give two shits about it. I'm sorry.
that's not helping. That bikini that you have on,
It's not
that
helping.
beach that you're on, that sunshine, that's not helping.
It's not. And like I said, I could not see how anyone would care in a time like this. But you see, the thing, people do care about that type of stuff in the most inconvenient times. Like
It's
this place is so backwards, man.
it's like why are you doing this? Who the hell do you think you are?
Right? Like who do you think you are, man?
The
Like,
audacity.
I am he. Like you have. I don't even want to like scold you right now.
Nah, these people really need to be scolded.
You know what they do, but
They
I'll
need
go in on you at a later time.
they need a swift kick in the ass,
All right. I'm looking. There's supposedly there's about, I guess, as of May 31st, 8 people have died during the protests and riots. I don't know where that is, but
And another thing, I want to tell people out there who are protesting, be safe.
right.
Know your rights. Wear the proper gear. The face mask. Everybody needs to have that. And it's crazy. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, people. What do you?
No, people are more
This should
concerned.
not
people
be
are more
going on.
concerned about the gunfires and stuff than a few coronaviruses flowing down your esophagus. I mean,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And
that's
but
like,
I'm just
see.
I'm,
Look,
yeah.
that's how you know how serious it is, because people are more willing to give up their life right now than by a virus than to sit around and do nothing.
Exactly. And I want to say that I commend everybody who are out there in the streets
Right.
protesting safely.
Right.
Protesting safely, knowing your rights, and there are foundations and organizations out there that you can donate to. Find them out, search them up. We will probably put some in the
I guess the description.
in the description, and there are petitions to be signed for George Floyd. I want everybody to everyone out there, just do your part.
And like,
But also understand and actually know what this is for.
right. Don't forget.
Don't forget what this is for. And I think that's what most people who were rioting and looting, they got caught up in the rioting and looting and forgot what this is actually for.
Right.
I mean, there were some people who were, burning down, the police station.
Right.
Those people we're all just tired and done with this injustice and this complete ignoring of our voices.
Like you said, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos and all the looting and stuff, but like he said, you gotta remember that this is about the future of this humanity, man. I mean, it doesn't just stop at racism. It goes to any form of hate, any form of selfishness and greed, all of that.
Exactly.
Because it's not just the rich white man or whatever you feel. It's deeper, man.
And let's
your homes.
The white man or white people or the people who are in charge in America, they are the main culprit. But anyone who is just racist and anyone who is oppressing someone else or another group of people, you're disgusting. and you need to stop or you will be stopped.
Right. I'm gonna have to intervene. I mean,
exactly.
What am I gonna do? Intervene
in
the best way I can. I mean, like making this podcast, I feel like this was sort of the best time because I mean, there are a lot of people listening as like right now.
And
it's kind of like just this topic here. I mean,
exactly. And everybody needs to use their platforms.
Right.
Because this is the age of technology and knowledge.
Right.
Like the knowledge is at your fingertips, like literally, like the technology is at arm's reach.
And that's why I feel like no one has an excuse to say that they don't know or that they don't like.
You see it going on in social media.
Exactly. So
even if you don't see it in person.
But look, another thing about social media is that people see what they want to see.
Oh, you're right.
And
you're so right.
It's like the
media.
It's like you're in a bubble, and whatever you follow, whatever you like, that's what's going to be in that bubble. So you, in a way, you trap yourself in a bunch of BS.
Exactly. And that's what
people don't know that.
And that's what the media does. They only show you what they want you to see, just like they only show the rioting and the looting
and the chaos and stuff.
And
they don't see the people who are actually in pain, hurt, and actually trying to make a difference. They're not going to show that.
They're not going to show that. And then all these people who are out here who are saying, "Oh, no, we y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't say that." Well, you can't be racist. You can't be prejudiced. You can't be the oppressor. Stop doing that.
I mean, it goes both ways, man.
Check yourself before you try to check other people.
All right.
Look at people. What people need to do is self-evaluate.
Exactly.
And it's not just one. It's not just in this moment. Y'all need to self-evaluate. Y'all need to just look at y'all lives. Look at from 1 year old. Not from 1 year old, but from the time that you could comprehend.
Like the farthest back you can remember.
The farthest back you can remember, and just till now.
Think about how you got here.
How did we?
What this world has been through, man.
Exactly. What people around you have been through.
What we have put this world through. What this system has put this world through.
Exactly. What we have put ourselves through. Because like I said, we are a product of our environment, but we can also change our environment. So therefore,
right.
Our environment is a product of us.
All right.
It's vice versa, people.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
And we get what we put out.
Exactly. You reap what you sow. You put that evil, hatred into a group of people. Don't be surprised when you get that shit back.
Expecting blossoms and gardens and beauty.
And expect us to be quiet and just, just not take stuff up the ass and not be and be like, why are you angry, black man, black woman? What is wrong with you?
Expecting not to go to heart. I mean,
exactly. Like,
you can't just kill somebody and expect.
You can't just oppress somebody for centuries.
If they don't give you the repercussions, someone's going to.
Exactly, and it's crazy how
third degree, bro.
Like third. Oh, exact. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Third degree. Everybody know that was not third degree. Third degree is, it wasn't premeditated, and it wasn't. Pretty much, it was an accident. There was an accident.
Like you shoved.
That man was unresponsive for almost 3 minutes, and I think it was 3 minutes. And then he still continued to leave his knee on this man's neck. Like and the man said, George Floyd said 15 times, "Officer, please, I cannot breathe."
Like, just the sounds, man. I was watching a video and just hearing him, man, like...
That sounds like second degree murder, if not first.
That's sick, bro.
He knew what he was doing when he placed his knee on this man's neck and left it there for the time that he did. That was premeditated to me. When you put your knee on some... And I don't think... Is that even protocol? I think you're supposed to put your knee on their back, right?
I really don't know, but I know for sure that...
I know for sure that you're not supposed to put your knee on an individual's neck.
Hate, man.
That was straight hate. Putting your knee on somebody's neck, that's premeditated.
And you know what's crazy?
To cut their ear off.
The guy didn't even know him, and he had that much hate enough to kill a random person.
To kill a random person. To kill a black man.
Right. When was the arrest going to happen? And even then, what was the arrest for? It was
apparently using what was it, a counterfeit $20 bill or something, or writing a false, something like that, writing a false check.
See, now that
you do not
that's just totally unnecessary.
You do not detain somebody in that matter for something like that.
Right.
You have these white children who have shot up schools, and what they do,
shot up churches. I mean,
they don't shoot them and ask questions later. They put them in handcuffs. Why did you do this, white young man or white young woman? Why did you do this, white man or white woman? Why did you what? It's always he struggled with depression, or
like they needed therapy or something.
Or they needed therapy or something. Why is that? What's the word? Why is that enough for you to be like, oh, we're just going to give them a slap on the wrist? What?
That's just, we don't have to say anything. If you just put the two side by side, two scenarios side by side.
And it's crazy. We shouldn't even, like you said, we shouldn't even have to say anything because what's going on. These events.
And that's the thing, like, people act like they're just so new to this, or like they just don't know. I mean, bro, you're not fooling anyone.
You're not fooling anybody. And if you do have your head inside of your ass, pull it out.
Straight up. Like, come on, man. It's time to wake up.
It's time. It's like you said, it's time to wake up, and it's time to stop being ignorant. Don't ignore shit. You shouldn't ignore anything.
You shouldn't even ignore yourself, your own mind.
Exactly. When you think the stuff that you think, you need to analyze and understand why you're thinking the stuff that you think.
Exactly. Self-evaluate, man.
Self-evaluate.
I cannot stress that enough. If you don't know the way you're living right now, if you question it as far as is it right, is it ethical, then you need to self-evaluate.
You know that what's going on in America and what has been going on in America for years is not moral. It's not right. And it's crazy. The American system knows that it's not right.
Exactly.
And you know what's crazy? When we say, I wanted to bring this up. When we say Black Lives Matter,
right?
It's always, oh, what? All lives matter. Yo, when we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that other lives don't matter.
I've seen this. All right, it was this. I think I posted on my Instagram, but it was this post that said saying all lives matter as a response to saying Black Lives Matter is like having a police officer put water on every house when there's only one house on fire.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
firemen
Yeah.
putting out.
So basically, it was saying, of course, all houses matter, but is your house on fire?
No, it's not. It's not.
And that, like, I was like, wow, that's
That's profound
that
right
puts
there.
everything into perspective. And I was just like, dude, how can people not comprehend, like, understand that?
Exactly. Like,
Of
why-
course, all lives matter. I mean, yes,
that's a
shouldn't
given.
even be that shouldn't even be a question.
You
That's
shouldn't
like,
even.
but
We shouldn't even be saying.
we shouldn't even be chanting that.
Yeah,
bro.
we should not even be chanting Black Lives Matter.
This shouldn't even be a racism. Shouldn't even be a philosophy. What an idea.
A
in this
construct.
world.
It shouldn't even be a tool used to oppress. Oppression should not be at all.
It really should.
Why you
man.
think the world is how it is today?
The only reason we have jails and all of these, these things for bad people or laws and stuff is because of bad people. If we didn't have, I'm not gonna sit here and say that this world needs to be perfect, because it's not gonna be perfect ever.
But you need to strive to be better.
Be better, exactly.
Like,
Put in the effort. Don't let that food rot in your room
and
just sit
ignore it
and
and
then
be surprised when you smell the stench of racism.
Exactly.
And when you smell the aftermath.
Right.
When your room, when your home is smelling like crap.
Right.
When your city is burning.
Right.
When your businesses have been looted. Don't act surprised.
And
is it sad? Is it outrageous? Yes. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when you smack somebody in the face and then they get upset.
And like, we're talking about this now. I mean, there's yet another death, another day, another death is what a lot of people say, but I don't know if this is going to continue, like the riots and stuff, or if people are going to let it die out and just forget about it. But if it does, I just want people to don't forget. I mean, keep fighting.
Don't keep the same energy.
The best way you can.
And it's crazy. And I love this generation. We're showing up for each other.
Right. And like I see it a lot. Like, there's a lot of young people putting in effort the best way they can.
Exactly.
From what I can see.
And we're taking to the streets. We're using our platforms. We're using our podcasts. We're using our Instagrams, our Twitters. We're funding. We're signing petitions. And don't stop there. Keep. I cannot stress this enough. Keep going. Keep making your voices and your actions known.
All right. Don't settle for the BS, man.
Because as a black young man in America, my voice is gonna keep being heard. I'm gonna keep stressing it till I reach my grave.
Right.
Even if everything is changed, and racism is eradicated, oppression is eradicated, I'ma still be chanting, remember, just like y'all say, being, patriotic. Oh, remember the Alamo. We learned that, Texas history. Remember World War II. Remember what happened to the Jews. Y'all need to stop forgetting what y'all did to black people.
Right. You can't just remember I guess, like, memorable event that you deem like to be remembered.
Yeah.
And then forget about all the
other
heinous things you did.
Remember
to get there.
Every horrible thing that we have done to ourselves on this planet, that we have endured by other individuals, other groups of people on this planet. Stop forgetting that slavery is one of them. Stop forgetting that.
Stop trying to forget.
Stop ignoring that segregation is among that list. Stop forgetting that white people were the oppressors and still are the oppressors. Or anyone who is racist and spewing out hate is the oppressor. Don't ignore that and don't forget it. Just like we don't forget any other heinous thing that has happened to other groups of people. Don't do that with us.
And not only don't forget, put in work, because you could know something and do nothing about it, and that's what you don't want to do.
You don't want to know. You don't want to
ignore it, because it's going to rot. It's not going to magically disappear. It's going to get worse.
And that smell from that rotting, horrible actions, those horrible actions, that smell is not going to be good.
Right. It's like dealing with a memory, or better yet, not dealing with it. And I guess you need therapy, but you just choose not to. And that memory is just there. You don't let it out. You just let it sit on your chest. And everyone knows when you let something horrible sit on your chest, you become, I guess, depressed, or you just don't feel good.
And that's what has. I'm glad you.
It's kind of like a, I guess what is it? Not general. I forget the word, but it's very broad, I guess.
Yeah, and
kind of explanation for it, but you know where I'm getting at.
Yeah, and that's what Black people are feeling. That's what has been happening to us. We have been silenced. We have been put down. We have been kept down. And we have felt the sting. We have felt it physically, mentally. It's in our DNA. And we're still trying to recover. We're still trying to remember ourselves. We're still trying to remember who we are. Imagine, white person or anybody who hasn't been affected, how Black people have been affected. Imagine not knowing who you are. Imagine not knowing who you are. Imagine not knowing where you came from.
Right.
Like, and then being told who and what you are by other people. And then when you're trying to tell them what they're saying about you is wrong and what they're doing to you is wrong, and being told to shut your mouth, being told to stop doing what you're doing,
or to conform to
a reality
that literally has no interest in treating you, I guess, the right way.
Exactly.
Or treating anyone the right way.
Like, that's horrible. That's devious. That's super devious.
Right.
And it's crazy how those oppressors want to finagle their way into your life and use you,
to your culture, and to just try to, it's like they try to transform, like, I guess, your whole reality, man. I mean, you can see it in the history books. Say they leave out certain things, they put in certain things.
History is written by the victors.
I remember my history teacher telling me that whenever you win, you get to write history.
Exactly.
And what do you think they're gonna do to the stories?
They're gonna distort them.
They're gonna say, "Oh yeah, these were great people, but we just fucked them over."
No.
Nah.
They're not gonna say that.
Nah.
And that's what America has done. Rewritten the narrative for their own personal gain. And then when we try to bring forth the true writing, the true narrative, we're told to keep our mouth shut. We're told to keep our actions to a zero.
Try to suppress the truth.
Oh, y'all need to be inactive. Y'all need to stop that.
Yeah, man, that ain't right, man.
Colin Kaepernick, I mean, you didn't get your ass up.
Bruh.
black woman, you need to be more quiet. For we have to deal with that shit.
For we have to intervene.
For we have to intervene. Like, don't be surprised. That's the whole thing about this.
Right.
Stop being surprised at what you see happening, and stop ignoring what you've seen happen.
Just sitting around. I mean, I could say how serious this is until I turn blue, but it takes you personally to change your mindset and really realize, like, this world is all we have. As far as
our lives are all we have. Like, why are you?
And we're just wasting them.
We're throwing them away like they mean
treating them
nothing.
Like, exactly.
We're killing each other. We're silencing each other. Like we just mean nothing.
Selfish benefit. Yeah, man, we got to do better.
We all have to do better. Like I said, like we both said, this is not just, even though this is about us, this is about black people, this is happening to black people, and it has been happening to black people over the centuries. It's about the world. Right. Also, because we all live here.
And if you don't want it to be for the betterment of everybody, then what are you here for? And that's a question you really have to ask yourself. What are your values? What do you want? Where do you want to see us in the next few years?
You still want to see us silencing each other? Still want to see us killing each other? You still want to see us being oppressed?
Or do you want to make a difference?
And do you want to make a difference? Exactly.
Simple as that.
Do you want to stop being ignorant?
Do you want to educate yourself?
Do you want to educate your children, your family members? Those of you who, quote unquote, think this shit is just craziness, and that, oh, this is ludicrous. This doesn't happen. And that's the whole shit.
Right.
Don't be ignorant. Don't be surprised.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Because people will happen and choices will be made. And that's why we're on the streets today.
Right.
Protesting, making our voices and actions heard, being on our platforms. Because we choose not to be ignorant. We choose not to be silenced. And if you're going to choose to be on the side of the oppressor, game on, mofo. Like,
I mean, you got to flip the script, man.
We down. We gonna keep fighting the fight
until there ain't no other fight.
Until there is no nothing to fight. Until this is just a non-existent thing in our reality. Until we can truly say racism, oh, that shit crazy.
Right.
Until we can truly mean damn, my nigga, that shit crazy. Like,
a lot of people don't
that shit happen.
We could say that, but a lot of people just say, they just say it, but they don't believe it.
Until we can say that and it be true.
In its totality.
Until we can say oppression, what's that?
Like,
we ain't done.
Right. We ain't even scratched the surface.
Exactly. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Man, how long is this? About an hour and 3. I mean, we got our word. I don't know what
we got.
I
don't know what else we can say to you people.
I mean, you know,
to our people.
Don't act like you don't know. And
if you don't know, now you know.
Exactly. Who said that?
That's a song, right?
Yeah, but like
Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah. If you don't know, now you know. Wait, is it?
I think so.
I mean, you could be.
Yeah.
You know.
You know now.
You know.
If you know, you know.
Exactly.
And now you know. And if you choose not to know and be ignorant,
then we know that you know that you.
We
don't
see
know.
you. We know where you stand.
Take off the facade, man.
Exactly, dude. Come on, man.
You know what? We out.
We out.
I'm tired of talking about this, bro. But I'm gonna keep talking about it. But for right now, you gotta do your part.
Exactly.
Peace.
With the real world.